Let me ask you something honest, and I want you to really sit with this for a moment. When was the last time you felt genuinely proud of your savings account? Not relieved it existed, not grateful you had a cushion, but truly proud, like it was building your future the way you imagined. Because here's what happens to a lot of people. They work hard, they stay disciplined, they set up automatic transfers, they skip purchases everyone else their age keeps making. And then a few years pass, they check the balance and feel pride and disappointment at the same time. The number is higher, but it doesn't feel like it moved the way it should have. If that sounds familiar, you're not crazy. That feeling is a signal. My name is Noah, and I spend way too much time thinking about how money actually grows in the real world. If you're someone who saves consistently but still feels like you're falling behind, make sure to hit subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Look, here's the thing. Most of us were taught that saving money equals building wealth. But saving is not wealth building. Saving is step one. The system you're operating in was never designed to reward savers. It was designed to reward investors. And once you see why, you'll never look at a savings account the same way again. Let me tell you a story that might sound familiar. There's a guy named Marcus. Solid income. Not flashy. Not careless with money. He takes his financial health seriously. From his very first paycheck, he made a rule. $600 into a high-yield savings account every month. No exceptions. 5 years later, he contributed $36,000. The total interest he earned? About $2,500. Sounds okay, until you look closer. During those same 5 years, his rent went up 18%. Groceries got noticeably more expensive. His car insurance increased every renewal. On paper, his balance grew. But his purchasing power, what that money actually buys, barely moved. Marcus didn't fail. He did exactly what he was told. And that's the point. Here's what most people don't realize. Saving protects money. Investing grows money. And the gap between those two is where people lose years of progress without realizing it. Right now, in 2026, high-yield savings accounts pay around 4 to 4.4%. That sounds decent, but here's the part most people miss. That interest is taxed as ordinary income. So if you're in the 22% tax bracket, 4.4% becomes closer to 3.4% after tax. Now factor in inflation, around 2.5 to 3%. Your real gain? Less than 1%. You're not building wealth. You're treading water. Now here's the question most people never ask. Who benefits the most when your money sits in a savings account? The bank. When you deposit $10,000, the bank doesn't store it in a vault. They lend it out. Mortgages, auto loans, credit cards. They charge borrowers 7, 9, even 20%. They pay you 4% and keep the rest. You supply the capital. They do the investing. That's not a scandal. That's how banking works. But it does mean the person most rewarded by your saving behavior isn't you. Let's look at a simple 10-year example. $10,000 in a savings account at 4% grows to about $14,000 to $15,000 before taxes. $10,000 in a low-cost S&P 500 index fund at 7% grows to about $19,700. That's nearly $5,000 more. No stock picking, no guessing, just participation. This is where it gets really interesting. The tax system quietly rewards investors. Savings interest is taxed as ordinary income. Qualified dividends for many middle-income earners are taxed at 0%. Same $3,000 earned. Savert tax. Investor may pay nothing. Same effort. Completely different outcome. Now, let's talk about one of the most powerful tools most people never use. The Roth IRA. In 2026, you can contribute up to $7,500 per year. Inside a Roth IRA, every dollar of growth is tax-free. Every dividend is tax-free. Withdrawals and retirement are tax-free. Invest $7,500 once at 7%, and it can grow to around $57,000 by retirement. And you keep every dollar. This isn't a loophole. This is policy designed to reward long-term investing. So why do smart, disciplined people stay stuck in savings? Because savings accounts feel safe. The number never goes down. No red days. No volatility. It feels like control, but that stability hides a quieter loss. Lost purchasing power, lost compounding years, economic growth happening without you. Volatility looks like risk, but over 20 years, inflation is the real risk. Think of money like employees. In a savings account, your money is sitting in the break room. In investments, your money is out working 24/7. You wouldn't hire employees and then tell them to sit still for 30 years. But that's exactly what most people do with their money. Now, you might be thinking, investing feels risky. Short term? Yes. Long term? History tells a different story. The S&P 500 has delivered about 10% average annual returns before inflation over long periods. Bad years happen, but over decades, the trend is clear. Risk isn't volatility. Risk is running out of time. Here's the shift that changes everything. Stop thinking of money as something to protect. Start thinking of it as something to deploy. You don't need a high income. You need the right tools. Here are 3 steps you can start this week. Step 1. Build an emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of expenses in a high-yield savings account. This is your safety net, not your wealth builder. Step 2. Open a Roth IRA and start investing. Even $200 a month matters. Automate it. Time matters more than amount. Step 3. Capture your employer's 401k match. If they match 100% up to 4%, that's an instant 100% return. Leaving it behind is like refusing free salary. Here's the truth most people learn too late. Savers provide the raw material. Investors participate in the returns. And everyday money beyond your emergency fund sits in savings. It quietly loses ground while the economy grows without it. Start small. Stay consistent. Trust the math more than the fear. Wealth isn't built by people who felt ready. It's built by people who started before they did and stayed patient long enough for compounding to do what it always does. I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing here is financial advice. This is purely educational. If this helped you see money differently, leave a comment and tell me what clicked. And if you want more honest, no hype financial education, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss the next video. Because the sooner you understand how money actually moves, the sooner it starts moving for you.